In the meantime, U.S. experts aren't nearly as pessimistic about the health of the American economy. National correspondent Nathaniel Reed says at first glance, numbers released yesterday look worrisome, but looking behind those numbers tells a different story.
Cautious optimism from economic experts as last month's inflation data hit the markets. The Labor Department's Consumer Price Index has spoken. Overall consumer prices were up 3.2% from a year earlier. That's up from a 3% annual spike back in June. After 12 straight months of decreasing numbers, seeing any increase might be a bit disconcerting, but it's actually slightly lower than what analysts were expecting. And experts say the more important number to consider here is the core inflation rate. That came in at a mild 0.2%.
Any way you look at it, this has been a successful, or certainly a more successful compared to historical efforts to deal with these sort of shocks.
So yes, there's been a bit of an uptick here in these numbers, but overall, it's good news for Americans who've been feeling the strain on their wallets for years now. Take food, for example. Prices are still up 4.9% over the past 12 months. But between June and July, the cost of items like eggs, meat, beer, and dairy all went down in price. The gasoline index saw a modest bump of 0.2% last month, but that was offset by falling electricity prices, a 0.7% drop from June to July. And used car costs continued their downward trend as well. Prices fell for a second straight month, down 1.3% from June and 5.6% from this time last year.
I think people overall, economists overall, are more confident and maybe more confused, but in a positive way about the fact that this has been a rather successful effort by the Fed to maintain slow increases, incremental increases in the interest rate to bring down the money supply and bring down the inflation rate.
Some analysts say the steady slowdown could keep the Federal Reserve from raising interest rates once again when they meet in September. Last month, the Fed bumped rates from a range between 5.25% and 5.5%, a two-decade high. Nathaniel Reed, Scripps News, Washington.